The appearance of the warship, the stars above the colony world of Arden were calm, quiet, almost beautiful, until the alien fleet arrived. Dozens of warships, sharp and silver, cut through the black, their engines glowing with a cold light. The alien admiral sat in his command chair smiling. His people had defeated many civilizations before, and now it was humanity's turn. He looked at the planet below and gave the order. "Prepare the fleet. Let the humans know who rules this sector," his officers cheered. They had crushed countless enemies. They expected the same here, but then the sensors screamed. Something vast was moving in from the dark. At first, the aliens thought it was another fleet, maybe a trap, but the readings showed only one object, one ship. And yet the signals of energy made the alien officers uneasy. "Just one vessel," the admiral laughed. "Do the humans think we will fear a single warship?" "How foolish!" His fleet laughed with him. But the sensors did not laugh. They showed power levels far beyond normal understanding from the shadow of the stars. The human warship emerged. Its design was strange. Unlike anything the aliens had ever seen, it was dark, almost black, with sharp edges that seemed to cut the light itself. No insignia, no name, no color, only silence. The aliens whispered among themselves. "Is it broken? Is it asleep?" For the ship made no move. It simply floated forward, calm as if it owned the space. The alien admiral grew angry. "Enough of this game. Lock weapons on the human vessel. Destroy it before it gets closer. Missiles loaded. Plasma cannons charged. The alien fleet prepared to fire." The humans gave no signal, no warning, no call. The ship just drifted, watching, and then the alien weapons fired. Beams of fire and thunder rushed toward the lone human warship. The sky itself seemed to break apart as hundreds of shots flew forward, but nothing touched the human ship. Every blast dissolved in the empty air around it, as if the universe itself swallowed the attacks. The shields were invisible, yet absolute. The alien admiral frowned. "Again, all ships fire again." The fleet obeyed, the stars lit with endless fire. But the human warship did not even shake. It did not move. Finally, the ship responded slowly, almost lazily. A single flash appeared, not a missile, not a beam, just light. One alien cruiser vanished, broken into dust, no explosion, no debris, just gone. The alien bridge fell silent. No one laughed now. The admiral gripped his chair. "What weapon was that? Where did it come from?" His officers had no answer. The human warship had not even opened fire in the way they understood. The admiral ordered the fleet to spread out, to surround the ship, but fear was already spreading. Some alien captains whispered to their crews, "This is no warship, this is a ghost." Yet the humans said nothing. No radio signals, no demands, only silence. The warship floated forward, its presence heavy, almost unbearable. In the colony below, human settlers watched the sky. They saw the alien fleet like stars of war, but they also saw their guardian arrive, a single black shadow that stood against many. And for the first time, they felt hope, up in orbit. The alien admiral swallowed hard. He had faced rebellions, pirate kings, rival empires, but never had he faced fear like this. A fear born not of numbers, but of one ship. And deep inside that human warship, a captain stood at the center of a quiet bridge. He did not smile. He did not speak. He simply gave one order to his crew. Wait, because he knew the aliens had only seen the beginning. The stars were silent again. But it was the silence before a storm to be continued. First contact with fear, the alien admiral tried to steady his voice. He ordered the fleet to hold formation. His eyes stayed fixed on the dark human warship. It had destroyed one of his cruisers with no effort. No visible weapon and no warning. They cannot do this again, he told himself. We are too many, they are too few. But deep inside, doubt was already eating his confidence. He gave the order. All ships attack together, no hesitation. Do not allow it to move closer. The alien fleet obeyed. Hundreds of weapons fired in perfect unison, beams of light, storms of plasma, guided missiles that screamed through the void. The stars turned into fire as the aliens unleashed everything. The human warship did not move. It floated calmly in the center of the storm. And then, just like before, the attacks vanished. Each missile disappeared the moment it touched the invisible barrier around the vessel. Each beam faded into nothing. Alien officers shouted, "Our readings show no impact, no damage." It is impossible. The Admiral slammed his fist. They must have some weakness. They must. But even he could not ignore the truth. Their weapons were useless. Then the human warship answered. One single flash again, silent and blinding. Another alien ship disappeared, no explosion, no flame, only silence and empty space where it once was. Panic grew in the fleet. Alien captains whispered to their crews. We cannot fight this. We cannot see the weapon. We cannot block it. But the Admiral shouted through comms. Hold your ground. We are warriors. We do not fear tricks. Surround them. The fleet tried to move into position. But something strange began to happen on 3 alien frigates. The lights died, the engines cut off, the crews shouted for power, for control, but nothing answered. Their systems had gone dark. The Admiral's officers looked in terror. Sir, those ships! They are disabled, not destroyed. Something is inside their systems. The Admiral's heart sank. Inside. You mean the humans are hacking us? Before his question was answered, more frigates flickered, screens filled with static, weapons shut down, life support drained, yet none of the crews were killed. The ships simply became cold prisons drifting in space. The alien Admiral knew then this was worse than any weapon. The human warship was not only stronger, it was smarter. It was reaching into their very systems, controlling them like toys. And still, no human voice came, no message, no demand. Only the heavy silence of that single ship. Suddenly, a low sound filled every alien ship. A single transmission. The first human words. Slow and calm. Leave or be erased. The alien crews froze. The voice was steady, without anger, without mercy. One officer whispered, They speak as if they already own us. The Admiral tried to appear strong. Ignore the message. It is only fear tactics. Continue the attack, but his voice cracked. His men heard it. His fleet heard it, and fear grew. The human warship then moved, for the first time since its arrival. It slid forward, silent, steady, unstoppable. Each movement felt like the weight of doom. More alien ships lost power. Their lights flickered and died. Their crews trapped and helpless. The Admiral watched his grand fleet shrink before his eyes. Ships disabled, crews begging for rescue, and still, the humans destroyed no one unnecessarily. They erased only the weapons that stood in their way. This mercy confused the aliens even more than the power. If the humans wanted victory, why not kill them all? Why leave survivors? Whispers filled the alien bridges. Maybe they want to warn us. Maybe they want us to understand. But no one dared to finish the thought. The Admiral's hands shook, sweat on his forehead. He had never known fear like this. Not from battles, not from rivals, only from this single human ship. He leaned forward and whispered to himself, What are they? What have they built? And deep inside the human warship, the captain watched calmly, his crew waiting for his next command. He raised his hand and said only one word, Again. And the warship obeyed. Lights flashed, another alien ship was gone. The silence grew heavier. The aliens began to realize they were not fighting an enemy. They were standing before a power they could not understand. The fleet trembled. Fear took root. And for the first time, they began to wonder if surrender was their only choice, to be continued. The warship reveals its power. The alien Admiral sat in silence, his fleet shaken, his officers pale. Ships drifting powerless, others already destroyed. Yet the human warship remained untouched, dark and quiet. He tried to speak, but his throat was dry. Regroup, we still outnumber them. We still have ships. But even he knew his words carried no hope. On another alien vessel, chaos filled the bridge. Officers screamed as their screens cracked into static. Their engines froze. Weapons refused to respond, one shouted. Something is rewriting our systems. It is not a virus. It is alive. The crew could only watch as the ship's controls locked them out. The human warship had taken command. Their ship no longer belonged to them. And then, across the alien fleet, a voice returned. Calm, steady, unshaken. Leave now, or be erased. This time the words reached every ship, even those drifting without power. The humans had touched every system. They had entered every channel. The Admiral stood, his hands shaking. Block the signal. Shut it out. But the order was pointless. The voice still came, soft and heavy, pressing against their minds. More alien ships flickered, then went dark. Whole squadrons silenced without a shot fired. Crews cried out in fear. We are blind. We are deaf. We are prisoners in our own ships, the admiral's second-in-command whispered. This is not war. This is domination, still the admiral shouted. We do not surrender. We are not cowards. Fight them. But his words had no strength, no faith, and his officers knew it. The human warship began to reveal more of its strange power. Panels opened along its black hull, glowing symbols burned faintly. Energy arcs danced across its surface. It looked alive, as if the ship itself was breathing. Alien sensors screamed with impossible readings. Sir, the power is rising beyond our scale. We cannot measure it. Suddenly, one alien destroyer turned its weapons on its own fleet, cannons blasting at nearby allies. Officers screamed on the admiral's bridge. They are attacking us! They have lost their minds. But it was no madness. It was control. The humans had reached into the enemy ship and bent it to their will. The destroyer fired again and again until the admiral shouted, "Shut it down! Stop them!" But before they could react, the destroyer froze, lifeless, drifting. Its purpose complete, the fleet whispered in horror. They can control us. They can make us destroy each other. The admiral clenched his fists, his pride burning with anger and fear. We will not kneel to humans. We are warriors. But his voice cracked. Even he could hear it. And then the human warship spoke again, louder, filling every corridor of every alien ship. You have one chance. Surrender or vanish. It was not a threat shouted in rage. It was a calm statement of fact. The voice of someone who already knew the outcome. Inside the human ship, the captain stood at the center of his crew. His officers silent, waiting, their faces calm. They had done this before. They had trained for this moment. This was not chaos for them. This was design. The captain gave a small nod. Show them. And the ship obeyed. From the black hull, a wave of light expanded. Invisible to the eye but deadly to the machines around it. Alien ships screamed as their systems collapsed. Entire fleets of fighters went dark at once. Hundreds of small ships now drifting useless in space. Alien pilots banged on their controls. Nothing responds, engines gone, weapons dead, one officer on the admiral's bridge whispered in terror. They ended our fleet without firing. They ended us with silence. The admiral's heart raced. Sweat on his hands, for the first time in his long career, he realized victory was impossible. He looked around his bridge. He saw fear in every eye. He saw men and women who no longer believed in his command, who no longer believed they could win. He wanted to scream to order one final charge, but the words died in his throat outside. The human warship floated forward, one ship against many. Yet it looked like a giant among children, its black hull cutting through the stars, its silence heavier than any roar of battle. The galaxy would remember this. One warship, one shadow, forcing thousands to tremble. And as the admiral lowered his head, he whispered to himself, "We are already defeated." The turning point. The alien admiral sat frozen in his chair, his fleet broken, his warriors silent. The human warship moved closer, slow and heavy. Like a mountain drifting through space, no weapon was visible. Yet everyone knew destruction waited within its shadow. On the admiral's bridge, voices rose. Officers could no longer hold their fear. "We must retreat!" one shouted. "We must live to fight another day." Another officer slammed his fist. "No, if we flee now, our empire will call us cowards. They will strip us of honor. We must attack again. We must show strength." The bridge divided. Some demanded retreat, others demanded revenge. The admiral felt the walls closing in, his own people turning against him in the chaos. Another ship vanished, erased in silence by the human warship. No fire, no wreckage, only emptiness where a proud vessel once stood. The argument stopped. Every alien turned to watch the empty space. The truth pressed down on them. This was not a war. This was a slow crushing of their will. The admiral finally shouted, "Enough! I will decide." His voice cracked with strain, but authority still clung to him. "Form a spear formation, ram the human ship if we must. Better to die as warriors than live as slaves." But before his words could take root, a new message echoed through the fleet. The human voice, calm and steady, "No more destruction, surrender, and live." The aliens looked at one another in confusion. Their enemy was sparing them. They could have erased the fleet in minutes, yet they were holding back, choosing only to disable, never to slaughter. A young officer whispered, They are stronger than us, yet they show mercy. Why? The admiral gritted his teeth. It is a trap. They want us weak. They want us to bow. They will enslave us. But deep in his heart, even he questioned it. Why leave so many survivors if conquest was the goal? Why warn them again and again on another alien ship? A captain spoke to his crew in hushed tones. We fight for leaders who see us as numbers. But the humans, they show us mercy even as they defeat us. Which side shows true strength? Doubt spread like fire. Not just fear now, but shame. The admiral shouted across channels. Hold your loyalty! Do not listen to their poison. We are warriors. We do not kneel. But his words fell flat. Then, without warning, the human warship moved with sudden speed, faster than any alien ship could follow. In an instant, it was at the very center of the fleet. Alien captain screamed, "It is inside our formation. We are trapped." But the human ship did not fire. Instead, it extended strange arcs of energy, wrapping around disabled ships, holding them steady, almost like cradling them, preventing them from drifting into danger. The aliens stared in disbelief. The humans were protecting their enemies. The admiral's voice shook. They shield us, why? His second-in-command whispered. Maybe they do not wish to kill. Maybe they only wish to end the fight. A heavy silence spread across the fleet. Many captains now lowered their weapons, unable to aim at the ship that had shown them both unstoppable power and undeserved mercy. On the human bridge, the captain gave his crew a single order. Make sure they understand. Lights rippled across the human warship. A silent signal. The disabled alien ship suddenly regained partial power. Life support restored. Stabilizers re-engaged. The crews gasped in shock. Their enemy had given them back their breath. They saved us, one alien engineer whispered. Why save us? Why not finish us? The admiral trembled. His pride shattered. He looked at the great black ship and felt the weight of truth. This was not just about weapons. This was about something greater. The humans were proving a point. Not only could they destroy, they could choose not to. They showed restraint that his own empire would never have shown. And in that moment, the alien fleet began to break. One by one, ships lowered their weapons. Some even sent signals of submission, captains choosing mercy over death. The admiral shouted desperately, "Traitors! You dishonor the empire." But even as he spoke, he knew his command was slipping away. The human warship floated above them, silent, patient, a shadow that offered life instead of death. The aliens realized the truth. Power was not just the ability to destroy, true power was the choice to spare. And for the first time in their long history, an entire fleet of warriors considered surrender. The fleet surrenders, the alien admiral sat in silence, his hands gripping the arms of his chair so tightly his knuckles turned white. Around him, the once proud fleet floated broken. Some ships disabled, some erased, many stripped of weapons. And all of them staring at one black shadow, the human warship. It did not fire. It did not threaten. It simply waited. Calm, steady. As though it already knew the end, the admiral's officers whispered among themselves, their voices low and heavy. We cannot fight them. We cannot even touch them, another said. And still they do not kill us. What kind of enemy spares the weak? The admiral slammed his fist. Enough. We are not weak. But even he felt the lie in his words. A new message filled every ship. The human voice once more, calm and certain. This is your last chance, surrender. Or vanish. The sound carried no hatred, no fury, only quiet certainty. It was the voice of one who did not need to shout, the voice of someone who had already won. The alien admiral tried to resist. His pride screamed, but his people's eyes told the truth. They were broken if he ordered one more attack. It would not be bravery, it would be suicide on another vessel. A young alien captain spoke to his crew. We always believed power was in conquest, but look at them. One ship, more powerful than our entire fleet, and yet they show mercy. This is not weakness. This is strength. The crew lowered their heads, and with trembling hands, the captain sent a surrender code. His ship's weapons shut down, lights dimmed, banners lowered. The admiral gasped. What have you done? But before he could stop it, more signals came, one ship after another. Surrender codes flashing across the network, proud warriors choosing life over pride. The admiral's bridge filled with panic. Commander, more ships are lowering their banners. Captain of the East Wing Squad has surrendered. Our lines are breaking, the Admiral shouted. Traitors, all of you. But the words felt hollow. Powerless soon, half the fleet had surrendered. The other half hesitated. Weapons cold, their hearts already broken, and still the human warship waited silent, patient. A judge in the endless dark, finally, the Admiral's second-in-command turned to him. His voice soft but sharp. Sir, enough blood. We must yield. If we do not, we will lose everything. The Admiral looked at the black ship on the screen. His pride shattered. He had sworn never to kneel, but the weight of reality crushed him. His empire would not see courage in his refusal, only foolishness. He lowered his head and gave the order. Send the signal. Surrender the fleet, and in that moment, silence filled the stars. Alien ships dimmed their weapons, banners fell, proud warriors bowed their heads, an entire fleet of thousands brought to its knees by one human warship. The human vessel finally spoke again, its voice steady, almost kind. You chose wisely, you will live. Return to your world, carry this message. Humanity does not seek conquest, but we will not bow. We will not be broken. The alien admiral trembled, not from anger now, but from something deeper. Respect and fear mixed into one. His fleet began to withdraw, broken but alive, carrying with them a story that would spread across the galaxy on the human warship. The captain stood in silence, his crew watching. One officer asked quietly, Was it enough? Will they understand? The captain nodded. They will, and they will tell others. His eyes looked out into the endless dark. And when they do, the galaxy will know that humanity has risen. The warship turned slowly, leaving the battlefield behind, its black hull glowing faintly in the starlight, like a shadow that could never be forgotten. And in every alien ship that survived, whispers began. If one human ship can force a fleet to surrender, how many more wait in the dark? The galaxy would not sleep easy again. And as the Admiral sat in silence, defeated, one final thought burned in his mind. If this was only one, how many more do they have?